Right. When I was in the Navy, I was in California for 4 or 5 years, and I was looking for a practice on the East Coast. And at the time, I was always looking for a group practice or a larger dental facility to work with multiple doctors and just a bigger practice. And it's kind of ironic, almost funny, that I wound up in this home practice in a very small town of Merchantville, and it's been like one of the greatest joys of my practice, is that I've been able to develop these relationships with patients that I see year after year after year. I see them grow from little kids to adults. Dr. Milano, who used to, he was the dentist here. So that's 25 years I've been here. The dentist who used to work here retired, and so I kind of took over the dental practice and the house, live here upstairs. And when I think about 25 years going by, and to see kids that were 6 and 7, now they're in their 30s, see people who were 50 at the time in their mid-70s, and that's really been the most rewarding part of dentistry for me. When I can have patients in my chair that I've seen forever, man, their teeth are in great shape. Just to know that they've been able to take care of their teeth and do a lot of the things we've talked about over the years, and know in my heart that, 10, 20 years from now, they'll still have their teeth. We taught you about your teeth and best ways to take care of them, and you've done it. It's incredible, because you don't know that when you're 25 and you start practicing dentistry. So that's kind of like the magic of being in practice in a small town for many years.
They work with you and they are accommodating to your schedule. They have a late night on Tuesdays.
As an educator, my mornings are basically shot. Everything I have to do is at night. Sapienza Dental has a wonderful program in which they will call me if they have an opening in their schedule that would fit my needs. And it's great because they always call me, and I call back, and then I know I have a safe spot that I can go to that works for me.
Many times our patients have things that come up where they need to cancel, and then we have this time available for someone else. So what we've tried to do is develop this short little call list where we know of patients who really want to come in for treatment, but we're unable to schedule because they're so busy.
Dr. Sapienza's practice has something called dental dollars, and they look like poker chips, actually. And what you do is you take them out of the container that's in the front, and you can give this dental dollar to somebody that you know. And that money goes towards their exam, and they also give you a discount on yours. So the more dental dollars that you provide people and the more referral, it's almost like a referral program, but it not only does it benefit you, but it benefits them. And I did probably in my first year accumulate about $200 towards my medical expenses. All I have to do is refer friends over, and they come here and I end up saving money. The best parts of Dr. Sapienza's practice is that they have extra programs and availability to accommodate your scheduling. So on Tuesdays, they have later sessions that you can come in and get cleanings. And that works for me, being that I work until 5 o'clock and I live about 30 minutes away. The Dental Dollar program is fantastic because it offers you a chance to refer people over and get money, and you can use that money towards the procedures that you get. I actually suffer from gum disease, and I have to get cleanings every 3 months. So it's more expensive for me than it is probably the average person who only goes once a year. So these extra programs are very beneficial.
I've never had an issue in getting in to see doctor. They've always been very accommodating, very accommodating.
One of the things that made this special for me over the years have been the people I work with. I don't think a day goes by when a patient doesn't tell me, well, that Casey, man, he's just the best. Casey is our financial coordinator. Said he really helps to make the financial end of dentistry just more affordable for people, whether it's through a payment plan or a third-party financing, or just work with your insurance in general. He's in your corner. The staff I currently work with is a group of really dedicated, honest, hardworking individuals. I think one of the things they strive for as a whole is to accommodate a patient, develop a relationship with them, just as I would develop a relationship with a patient. Our staff develops relationships with patients, and when I see that happen, it's very rewarding for me. A staff member can do a job, they can do a thing, but when they interact and bond with a patient, that's really a magical moment, and what I'm really proud of.
But when I come here, I get greeted like I am family. And I know their daughters. I walk in, I know the receptionist right now is one of the daughters, but Casey works in like all the billing, and he is such an asset for this company.
Front office staff, always very nice, very accommodating, very friendly. Everybody in here. I mean, you can be sitting in the waiting room and you know, any of the assistants to doctor walk through, and they'll always just say, hello, how are you, whatever. So it's nice. It makes you feel welcome. You don't feel like a patient. You feel like you belong here as part of this whole group.
You can tell that they're not just, you know, a dentist practice. They are a family, and they work as a family, and they treat you like family.
Yeah, I feel the staff here at Sapienza Dental, they really are on the same page. So the dentist will come see me, he'll tell me something, and the hygienist will always back him up and explain the importance of why the dentist suggests that. The staff at Sapienza Dental, I feel, are always trying to improve upon their dentistry skills. So they're always trying to improve themselves and improve their practice as best as they can. It's a great dynamic. They work well together. They always have smiles on their faces, and so it's always a great pleasure coming here. They always have the best dentist practices and the best technology that they can possibly provide, and if they don't, they make sure they go out of their way and get trained in those procedures or go out and get that technology.
As the technology increases, the pain decreases, you know, the difficulty of the procedures decrease.
Technology changes all the time. This practice is very much on top of looking at new technology and following through with it and making it available for their patients.
As we've gone throughout the years, the technology has made the procedures easier, decreased the pain levels, decreased the anxiety that goes along with the different procedures.
In the waiting room, they let you, that you can bring your iPad or your phone or computer, whatever. And then there's also a TV, like a little mini TV right there, just so when they're doing your teeth, you won't get bored. You can just stay occupied and watch TV.
There's never really much of a wait while I'm at Sapienza Dental, but if I ever do, they have free Wi-Fi, which is great because I don't have to worry about using my data.
We've gone from the bite-win x-rays that used to get shoved in your mouth and were too big to just a little camera that takes a picture now. It's much less intrusive. A lot of this technology has really changed and improved.
So when I think about doing the best for your patients, it always brings me back to continuing education. I mean, it's a funny thing, but when I went to dental school, we were placing silver fillings and amalgams, and now we've come all the way to designing and milling crowns with a CAD/CAM dentistry. Part of our mission statement is always to provide the best for our patients, and you can't do that without constantly learning about the changing that's going on in dentistry.
I think that the Sapienza practice is definitely up to date, and they keep active on learning more and more about what's available out there. They keep up with all the medicines that are available to help fight bacteria, and they have all the new equipment, and they make sure everything is new and not outdated. And I know that they keep their practice current.
He teaches me how to keep my teeth healthy. They say make sure, you know, you brush your teeth and floss, and they also said make sure you like brush your gums too, because that helps.
I don't feel like they're telling me this is what you need to do. I feel they like to educate me and let me know this is why you need to do this, not you need to do this because I'm saying so. I feel like they want to do the best they can to help me.
So the staff, they really have an understanding of my passion for continuing education, and they understand that it's expected of them to do the same, whether it's a local class we go to together, or even to go a few states away and stay overnight or two just to learn more about what's going on in dentistry, because it's really changing all the time.
The staff here goes out of their way and makes sure that they go and learn what is the most effective, newest, and upgraded procedures and technology they can get, and make sure they bring it to their practice as soon as possible. You don't want a dentist doing old procedures on you when there's something more readily available, easier, and less painful.
Dr. Sapienza is trained and certified for Invisalign. When I had my Invisalign done, they took pictures and they showed me all the before and after pictures on their TV set, and it was very interesting to see. Something that you would never notice is how much your smile and your teeth really do reflect like a lot about you. And having straight teeth will build your confidence, and I think that's, you know, something that everybody wants. At 31, I didn't want to go to an orthodontist and sit there with a whole bunch of children. I wanted to do it, and, you know, no one ever knew that I even had them in.
One of the most recent advances in dentistry has been the incorporation of CAD/CAM technology into the fabrication of crowns. Here in our office, we have a machine where you can scan and mill and deliver a crown to a patient in one visit. And patients really appreciate the increase in the efficiency and possibly cutting down the number of appointments they need to make.
One time when I had to have a crown done, that it was able to be done here in the office. I mean, the whole process was here. I didn't have to come back.
A CEREC is a computer-generated crown, which we can do here in the office. Traditionally, if someone needed a crown, we would take an impression that it would go to the lab. The patient would have a temporary and need to come back at another visit. If we're able to use the CEREC machine, it actually saves them that second visit.
There's been procedures like dental things that I've had to have done that Dr. Gary has had to take care of for me, specifically like with crowns. I always feel very fortunate that I have not had to go out to somebody else to have things done, because it's always been taken care of here for me.
They actually did a spit test on me where they brought me in and showed me on this microscope what bacteria looked like in my mouth, and it was kind of disturbing. It was a whole bunch of long lines and little dots that were basically fighting in my, you know, saliva. And that's when they recommended the microbial wash, because it would help kill off that bacteria. After using the microbial wash, the bleeding and the pain in my gums definitely was much less.
I would definitely say I trust the practice to make the right decisions for what my medical needs are. They've never led me astray. They always make sure they're only doing the procedures that are necessary. And if it's more of a cosmetic thing, they explain that and let me make that decision.
They've always discussed with me the cost and make sure that I can either afford it or set up a plan to be able to afford it. Being a single mother, money's been tighter, so they have worked with me very well with that. They've always made sure. And trust is definitely a word I would put with Gary's practice.
I'd say they always bring you into the discussion. They make sure you're fully aware what the procedure will be, and help you make an informed decision.
No, they've always given me the option to either just numb my mouth or give me Novocaine or something else, depending what was going on that day. They have always discussed in detail what they're going to do. I'm a very inquisitive person in what you're going to do to me. So that's the comfortability that they've always made sure I know what's going to happen before it happens.
I feel like I'm not a patient, but someone who's been going here all my life, like a more valued person than just a person they see for a dollar amount. They always tell me the best information of how to continue to improve my teeth, my gums, and things like that.
You have this very trusting relationship, and you can talk about it. Treatment options, how much things cost. Their long-term goals, their short-term goals. Are they having a procedure done for a wedding on Saturday, or are they worried about their teeth 20 years from now? Because your whole treatment and everything you do together for the next 20 years is built on that relationship. So we're a general practice, family practice, and we see younger children and elderly patients. And I find that using humor with both groups of patients is very effective. For me, it makes the appointment more enjoyable, and for the patient, I know it helps really reduce their stress.
Dr. Sapienza has a way of just making you feel like family.
Well, I like to use humor a lot with children, because there's basically usually a lot of fun.
He's really funny and makes a lot of jokes. Yeah, he talks a lot more too, in a good way.
It's very easy for them to I think, like, pick up on humor, at least my humor.
Gary does magic tricks. He did a magic trick to make it so that he could actually put the needle in my mouth. That makes a difference when you go to dentists, and he actually talks to you. Even at 5, he talked to you like you were a person, not just a patient that's a number.
Yeah. Always making you feel comfortable answering questions, being patient.
He likes to tell jokes. Growing up, he called us Scolder and Mulder.
Mulder and Scully.
But I know over the years we've had this relationship, and the humor we've used, it all kind of revolved around Scully and Mulder. They were really into the X-Files at the time, and so when they were here, we'd call each other Scully or Mulder.
I know the dentist isn't fun, but it was fun being at Gary's. You know, you always know you got something to play with, you got toys.
I think I try to use it the most when I think we get to a part of a procedure that may be uncomfortable. Most people are kind of afraid of needles. That's usually a great time to use humor.
When you're getting ready to have a procedure done and he's going to give you that injection to numb your mouth, the last thing that he always says to me before he puts that needle in is, "Good luck." I don't know why I find that funny, and I don't think he should say it, and I've said that to him, but I would be disappointed if he didn't.
This is what determines how your treatment's going to go and what kind of treatment you're going to get. This magic 8-ball has been in place forever, which today it's decidedly so that this is going to go well. Dr. Gary used to use this 8-ball just to lighten the mood, make people laugh.
Are you going to get a needle or not? He didn't tend to listen sometimes.
When the 8-ball disappeared accidentally, a treasure chest appeared in its place, and now the
Filled
8-ball
with
is back.
toys.
I'm very excited to see it back.
The magic 8-ball of decision. When you would say get the Novocaine shot, he would flip the 8-ball to tell you whether maybe you'll get it or not. I agree with you. I think it lightens the mood. It helps you just to kind of relax, not feel so tense about a procedure of any kind.
The 8-ball really represents how the practice just has a fun, lighthearted nature to it. You know, something to ease the tension, especially when you're getting something done that's not necessarily pleasant. Am I getting a needle or not for my Novocaine? And it says that I most likely am. So, usually.
Dr. Sapienza, he's funny. He makes me feel welcomed. He's always joking around, but he has a serious side, and it lets me know, hey, this is what you need to do. And I also feel they always have my best interest at heart, rather than just trying to make money. They want to see what they can do the best way for me, but also the cheapest way.
We got involved with a charity called Smiles for Life. Smiles for Life is basically a charity that enables a dental practice to provide whitening services to a patient, who then pays the Smiles for Life Foundation directly for those services. The money then goes to children's charities nationwide, but part of it also goes to a charity of our choice locally.
Dr. Sapienza also does a lot of charity work as well. I know he's gone overseas, and he's gone to different places and offered his dentistry work. At Sapienza Dental, I know they have a charity program in which they take some of their profit from whitening teeth and donate it to an organization called Smiles for Life. So they try to really give back to the community.
It's making sure they're comfortable. Always remember, it's their comfort. You're there serving them. You want them to be comfortable. If it means the procedure takes longer, if you need to come back and do it over, if it means you need to tell some jokes.
They're professional. They listen. They understand. When, as a patient, if I say something is bothering me or not right or I'm concerned, they understand. They listen. And for me personally, that is extremely important to have any medical provider who listens.
My insurance, I had changed insurance, so they didn't cover the Sapienza dentist, so I had to go somewhere else, and that was a big regret. And as soon as I got insurance, I was able to come back. I came back. I prefer not to go anywhere else. I don't trust anybody like I do Gary. It's very scary to go to a different dentist. I like knowing that I'm an actual person, not just a dollar sign. It makes it a lot easier to know I can say, hey, this is making me very nervous. What can we do to make me more comfortable to do what you need to do? And they always make sure to work. Sapienza's whole team works with me to make me comfortable here.
You want to go to the dentist if you want to have a healthy smile. If you go to the dentist, you have to go to Dr. Gary.
If I wasn't happy, if my children weren't happy, we wouldn't still be going there all these years. You know that we're getting good care, and I'm not afraid to smile to anybody, so I feel confident.
Well, when I think about the number of patients I've seen over the years, it's kind of a little overwhelming. It's like a great honor that someone would entrust their care to you. And it's something you can't really appreciate when you first start practicing, because you've had like 7 patients that you've treated. But over like 30 years, you've had so many people place their trust in you to do what's best for them. It's like an indescribable kind of feeling. And so I think of it as like a great honor.